Last week, Ryan Ciminelli appeared to be well on his way to winning the second PBA Tour title of his career. But then, the Ryan Express went off the rails. Today, Simonelli is back here at the World Series of Bowling. Can he rebound from such a heartbreaking loss and redeem himself? They come from all over the planet for the sport's most prestigious international event, the World Series of Bowling. 240 pros from 21 countries are here in Las Vegas. Among them, the PBA's best. All competing for the multiple PBA titles that are up for grabs. Yes! It's professional bowling's ultimate test, full of triumphs. Yes! And disappointments. And it's coming at you next on ESPN. Yes! The World Series of Bowling 5 rolls on in Las Vegas at South Point. The PBA Chameleon Championship. Time now to meet our finalists.
Our number 4 seed is the 2009 PBA World Champion. He's looking to return to his winning ways today as he seeks his second career title. From Saginaw, Michigan, Tom Smallwood. The number 3 seed is making his second consecutive World Series of Bowling telecast after finishing second last week in the Viper Championship. He's looking to cash in today. From Cheektowaga, New York, Ryan Ciminelli. The number 2 seed. It's been almost 4 years since capturing his first career title, looking for win number 2 today. From Dayton, Ohio, Brian Kretzer. The number 1 seed was the 2008, 2009, 2010 World Bowling Writers Bowler of the Year from Colchester, England, Dom Barrett.
PBA Chameleon Championship. Here's how it breaks down. Ciminelli and Smallwood in the opening match. The winner gets Brian Kretzer, and the survivor faces Dom Barrett in the championship match. Also today, the PBA League Challenge continues with the obstacle course.
And let's take a look at the 43-foot Chameleon oil pattern. If you haven't tuned in to the World Series of Bowling, folks, you're in for a special treat. There's a blue dye additive in the oil. It shows you the oil pattern and its length. We will revisit it several times throughout the telecast, showing you the oil transitioning, drying up, and moving all over the place, giving you a unique perspective of what our players face out here on the tour.
Ryan Ciminelli suffered heartbreaking defeat last week in the PBA Viper Championship. Kimberly Pressler is laneside with more.
Well, guys, I just spoke to Ryan Ciminelli about his mental preparation coming into today, and he said the feeling of losing and coming so close but not taking that win is something he does not want to repeat today. He said he's going to use that as motivation to push through, not close himself out, keep his mind open, and he keeps repeating to himself, trust yourself. You know exactly what you're doing.
Thank you, Kimberly. Mike Jakubowski along with PBA Hall of Famer Randy Peterson, and we are set for action match number 1 in the PBA Chameleon Championship. PBA World Champion Tom Smallwood will open the match. Ryan Ciminelli made that decision.
Well, his last name may be Smallwood, but this guy is anything but small in big moments, and he's proved it throughout the World Series of Bowling this season.
The unique style of Smallwood stalks the approach. Here we go. Opening match. 3 and the 6 remain.
43 feet of skid and a little bit of back end, and that's what you're going to see on this Chameleon oil pattern. Very slick, very high volume, and very lengthy.
On the outside, Smallwood cleans up the spare. And a mark in the first frame. And now Ryan Simonelli out of Cheektowaga, New York, PBA Tour champion, looking for title number 2. Southpaw toes the line here, opening shot. Powerful, solid strike.
Well, win or lose, today is all about the maturation process for young Ryan Ciminelli after a crushing defeat last week. And off to a nice start.
A reminder that the PBA League Challenge continues today with the obstacle course. That's coming up later. That's ought to be opening double for the Ryan Express.
He posted that shot up beautifully. What a great looking shot that was. And off to a nice start.
Smallwood qualified 4th, 228.4 average for his 14 games. He says my equipment sequence is quick. You can't outbowl bad reaction. You have to have the right balls in your hand. Right ball, right line. Strike for Smallwood. Tom Smallwood's only PBA title came out of the very first World Series of Bowling in a major, no less. The 2009 PBA World Championship. The former auto worker who was laid off from a Detroit assembly line a year earlier made his dreams come true with an unbelievable performance, defeating reigning Player of the Year Wes Malott 244-228 in the title match. A classic Cinderella story that rivals any other in sports. Interesting to note that Smallwood is 0 for 6 in televised matches since that World Championship win.
So you can take a look at Tom Smallwood's arsenal. They're throwing a mastermind. The strongest ball in his arsenal.
Comes up high at the last moment. But the 10.
Ball looked really, really good until it got about 3 feet in front of the head pin, and then it just kind of snapped left. Fortunate only leaving the 10 pin. Right there.
Across the deck for Smallwood. Clean through 3. Attitude is working so far. Turkey working for Simonelli. And here's the balls in the bag, Randy.
Well, he's using an endless nightmare, and it looks like early on he's not reliving last week's nightmare. Nice comeback thus far for Ryan Simonelli. Also using a very responsive piece of equipment, which is what you would expect on this long oil pattern.
And Messenger falls short, 7 pin.
It's all right, it's a good shot in the pocket. See that follow through right by the left ear. And a pretty good hit. Just leaving the weak 7. Kid's got great balance. He's a good athlete. When he keeps it under control, he makes really good shots. His tendency is to get fast and really throw it hard.
Tom Smallwood is 35, out of Saginaw, Michigan. Avid outdoorsman.
Wow. Pins flying everywhere. Messenger over into the 7 and completely misses the 7 pin. As we take a look at his style, rolls that bowling ball up on the forearm. He does put his thumb in it. Look how nice and low he is to the foul line. Right shoulder down. That's what you have to have if you want to throw the ball right to left.
Open frame.
And a bad time for that to happen. Now it's a 31 pin deficit through only 4 frames. Just missed left to target.
Back in the pocket, and Smallwood drops 10. So up comes Ryan Simonelli here in the 5th, 31 pins up. Simonelli splashes the rack.
Well, let's take a look at what happened last week. Ryan Ciminelli was in complete control until this pocket 7-10 split left the door open for Barnes, who needed the first strike in the 10th, and he got it. Yeah! And that was all she wrote.
Simonelli trying to pile on the pin, 6th frame, double, plus 41.
Great shot, nice comeback for Ryan Ciminelli. He's been perfect in the pocket with every ball, looking to rebound from that disastrous 7-10 split. Von Ryan's Express. The locomotive is showing all its strength. Stay with us. More to come from South Point here in Vegas.
The PBA Chameleon Championship is brought to you by Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance. By Dexter, the #1 bowling shoe in the world. By Storm, bowlers serving bowlers. Storm is the bowlers company. And by Rotogrip, your time is now. Own it. Welcome back to South Point in Las Vegas for the continuation of the PBA Chameleon Championship. Here's a look at our top qualifiers. Patrick Allen missing out by less than a mark, Randy, and Rash also just missing this top 4.
Yeah, pretty talented leaderboard there.
The Chameleon represented by blue, as in part of the Chameleon, the blue dye that you see out on the lanes. It's brand new from the PBA. Added a dye to show the oil in play and to illustrate the Chameleon pattern. Now Smallwood in a hole, but he's working on a strike and he's got some frames left. 6th frame. That's not going to help him dig out.
Trouble again on the right lane. This ball never grabs the lane surface. It's about 47 feet of skid. It's not the easiest spare when there's all that slickness out there.
Picks up the double wood for Tom Smallwood. 4 frames remaining. Smallwood trying to find something to put some pressure on Simonelli. Otherwise, it will be Simonelli advancing to the semifinal. Brian Kretzer is waiting for the winner.
Smallwood licks his left hand, rubs it on his right forearm. That's where he rolls the ball up on. Helps keep the ball secure and in place before he lets go of it.
Crossover hit, carries a strike, a break for Smallwood. Needing something to go in the right direction.
We kind of saw this from the right-handers last week. And Ryan Ciminelli had a great look, and it's exactly what it looks like right now. Ryan Ciminelli's been perfect in the pocket through 6 frames.
Looking to put away Smallwood here early on the double. 7th frame. Simonelli in good shape.
Making great shots. I mean, as strong and as powerful as he is, when he rips through at the bottom, he doesn't move an inch on that last shot. Just beautiful. Boy, if you could bottle that one up and sell it, you'd make a fortune.
Make it 7 out of 8.
Yeah,
Simonelli in control.
you can pretty much put a lid on this one. Tom Smallwood ran into a locomotive. Each player on today's telecast with 1 career title. Smallwood's being a major.
Look at the footwork and approach of Smallwood. And 7-pin. Simonelli will advance to face Brian Kretzer in the semifinal.
Tom would like this match to be over with really quickly. Pretty good looking shot for 9, almost 8.
World Series of Bowling 5 champions. Thus far, Wes Malott taking the Cheetah. Chris Barnes taking the Viper. The Scorpion yet to come in the PBA World Championship, also coming up December 29th. PBA titles involved with the 5th World Series of Bowling. We're going to see Smallwood next week at the Scorpion Championship, and then the week following in the PBA World Championship.
Ryan Simonelli, the lone southpaw on today's telecast. If he can follow the transition, make the right moves, and continue to throw quality shots, may be unbeatable today. Maybe unbeatable.
Tenth frame, Simonelli finishing up. He can do whatever he likes here to feel out the next match as Brian Kretzer will take on Ryan Simonelli. Little chatter between Ryan and ball rep Chuck Gardner. Chuck on the truck.
Big Chuck on the truck. Known Chuck for a lot of years.
Simonelli advances to face Kretzer. The Ryan Express moves on, and we've got a Hall of Famer joining the booth next. Welcome back to South Point, the PBA Chameleon Championship. And Ryan Ciminelli with a big 255 game beats Tom Smallwood and moves on up the stepladder. And he will face Brian Kretzer in our semifinal match. Hello again, everybody. Mike Jakubowski, along with two Hall of Famers, Randy Peterson on expert analysis and Jason Couch. And Jason, this is the second time now you're working the World Series of Bowling from the other side of the aisle. This event has really grown in your time as a player and now as a ball rep.
Yeah, certainly has been a great event so far. A lot of great bowlers. You know, I believe there's 20 countries represented this trip, and it just keeps getting bigger and better.
Well, Jason, I know you've made a lot of telecasts in your career, and I know there's been several times where you were the lone left-hander. As good as Ryan's looked in that first match, any predictions moving forward?
The boys on the right better start throwing some strikes because the Ryan Express is on fire right now.
Why do you think that is?
You know what? He's out there by himself. He can kind of set the lane up to where he wants to play them. You know, if he throws a little surface or maybe throws a plastic ball to push some oil down, he can create some room for himself, and I think the kid's going to be tough to stop.
Thanks a lot, Jason. Looking forward to your commentary with us in the booth for the next match.
Semi-final match is coming up next as the Ryan Express, Ryan Ciminelli, will take on that man, Brian Kretzer. Stay with us at the World Series of Bowling. PBA Chameleon Championship rolls on at South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa, the special exhibition hall. As we look at the camp, rooting for Ryan Ciminelli, fiancée Chelsea Larson, and Pop Angelo Simonelli. Kretzer, the higher seed, has given Simonelli the start of the match. Mike Jakubowski with Randy Peterson and Jason Couch calling the action. Semifinal match.
Jason, we talked a little bit about the ball reaction of Ryan Simonelli. I watched Brian Kretzer in practice throwing a lot of straight shots from out, even though you're not supposed to play out on this oil pattern. Brian not known for the straight shot from out. He's known for slow hook, and it's going to be very interesting to see how he plays the lanes.
I got to think that that Kretzer may be a little out of his comfort zone if he's going to plan on playing this pattern straight.
Spare for Simonelli fills the frame. Our first look at Brian Kretzer. Man, a few words, but Brian is always excited to make a show. PBA Tour champion out of Dayton, Ohio, opening shot. That looks like a different line than we saw during the warm-up, Randy.
It's like Jason said, he's got to play to his strengths, especially if he wants to have a chance at beating Ryan Ciminelli based on what Ryan did in the first game. And Jason, the 3-6-9-10 on the right, not the easiest of spares.
In the touring player's opinion, this is the hardest spare to pick up.
Yeah. What do you call it on your side?
Death.
On the outside.
That's different, huh? I've seen a lot of players throwing the ball straight at that spare these days.
I don't agree with it, but hey, he made it.
Yeah.
Jill Kretzer cheering on Brian. Here in our semifinal matchup, Kretzer and Simonelli. Dom Barrett is waiting in the championship match here at the PBA Chameleon Open. Slaps out the 10, does Kretzer.
Much better shot by Brian on that one for sure. He definitely looks more comfortable than when we saw him in practice.
Well, that's his bread and butter right there, Jason. And maybe the first shot on the right lane was just television jitters, but this here, great shot, 6 goes to the wall, snaps the 10 out.
Simonelli with the big game in our opening match. Ring 7.
And Jason, that might be the only thing that stops Ryan Ciminelli today is bad carry.
That's the only thing I think that could derail him.
See that ringing 7 there, something that Jason Couch never left in his career. Especially on television or at a Tournament of Champions. Jason, I got to ask you this question. You know, a lot's been talked about here in the booth about the uniqueness of Ryan Ciminelli's follow-through. At times, straight behind the left ear. When he left the pocket 7-10 last week, it was over by the right ear. What makes the direction of his follow-through change?
I think it would probably be a lot to do with the speed of his follow-through as well. When he gets a little revved up, he tends to get more aggressive at the ball. You could definitely see that last week's telecast where he followed through in front of him.
Strike for Simonelli.
We're going to take a look at his follow-through once again. Wouldn't you agree, though, he's a pretty good athlete? I mean, this kid hits the foul line as solid as anybody. You see that first crossover step that gets him to go right early, and then here's the follow-through a little bit in front of his face.
And that ball never had a chance, and he had really posted some great shots in that match.
And no roll 2. Brian Kretzer. His only title came in 2010 at the Go RVing Match Play Championship.
Brian Kretzer's approach is about a 7-step approach with a little half a stutter step. Well, there was a time, Jay, when he was taking about 10 steps going to the foul line, little short stutter steps just to get himself started and feel some rhythm.
Yeah, you know, he's changed his game quite a bit, but you can still see he has that massive drift after those first few steps.
Big drift to the left to help him feed the ball to the right. And you would think that he really thrives on these longer patterns because he likes to throw the ball soft and really likes to get his hand in it.
If you notice that two things that Kretzer likes to do and Smallwood likes to do. Throw it soft and get a lot on the ball. And it's no coincidence that they're both on the same telecast.
And they both like to drift left. Spare here, this match is all even.
Even match. You see that blue out on the lanes? That's the new dye. For the first time, the PBA has dyed the oil, the conditioner, so this chameleon pattern shows up as that blue coloring that you see down lane. Concentrated in the middle and a little lighter on the outside.
What do you think of the dyed oil on the championship pair, Jay?
I think it's great for the viewers at home to actually see what happens to the oil when we're putting those highly powerful balls down there. It picks it up in a hurry.
It's a double for Simonelli. He takes a 10-pin lead here.
This kid has just gotten better and better over the last few years.
He was talking to us about changing his mental outlook and approach on things and turning things around for this season. Or excuse me, this World Series, getting refocused. Making the show in Thailand, said that helped him, and here we are again with the similar situation, similar to the last match, in that the right-hander is in trouble and Ryan Ciminelli has yet to miss the pocket.
High hit and the baby split. The 10 gets kicked out to make it a little more difficult.
Hits the 10, it doesn't go down. He goes high, light, high on the right lane.
You know, I got to tell you too, Randy, that there's more pressure on these guys right now because they know Ryan's going to throw a lot of strikes on this pattern.
That's a great point. The 10 pin is off spot, but the machine didn't make it off spot. A pin moved it off spot, and therefore if the machine can pick it up and set it back down, it stays there.
It stays in that location.
Yep.
It's a little tougher spare, but the conversion for Kretzer as he stays clean, but he's yet to double. Here's a look at his bag.
So we're on a high road, kind of middle of the road in terms of hook potential in his arsenal.
Shakes him down. So Kretzer earns a strike. And our semifinal match will continue. Can Ryan Simonelli storm his way into the title match, or will Brian Kretzer find a way? Chameleon coming up next. Welcome back to South Point in Las Vegas, Nevada. Continuation of the PBA Chameleon Championship at the World Series of Bowling. Ryan Ciminelli with a turkey 22-pin lead over Brian Kretzer. Winner will get Dom Barrett in the championship match. Here's that blue oil we were talking about, Randy.
Well, you can see the worn area, the deep inside part of the lane where the right-handers have been playing. Even though the righty started out here, you can see a little bit of worn area right there around first arrow. But notice over here on the left side of the lane, very smooth, very clean playing surface because there's only one left-hander out there, and that's Ryan Simonelli.
That is the brand new die that shows you what was previously unseen. The chameleon oil pattern here in Las Vegas. Now Simonelli working on a turkey, trying to extend his lead. 6th frame. Yeah. Here he comes.
Hey, Jason, you know, I talk a lot about feast or famine on the left side when there's only one left-hander, because when there's only one left-hander and they're really nice, the lanes are really good, and you're talking about a full-course meal. But when they're bad, you don't have any other traffic to break the lanes down. Explain a little bit what that's like, because you've been on both sides of that.
Well, yeah. Today for Ryan, you know, all he's doing is making his ball reaction better. And all he has to do is continue to work at that speed adjustments to find out how to get the ball to go through the pins.
And nope, 7th pin remains, ending the streak for Simonelli.
Where, you know, if you get a telecast where there's maybe 3 lefties on the telecast, you're going to see a lot more wear. You're going to see different moves that you're not used to seeing when you don't follow a certain lefty for a few pairs. And, you know, that's when the right-hander could certainly have the advantage.
Do you see any reason whatsoever why Simonelli's reaction should go away?
The only thing he'll lose is his pin carry, and he's going to have to make speed adjustments or maybe even switch equipment. But that's it. He should be what we call carving out the pattern to make him really nice for himself.
It's moving time for Brian Kretzer. If he's going to go, it needs to be now. He's yet to double. He has a chance here in the 7th. With a pair of strikes, he could cut the lead to 11 pins.
He hasn't hit the pocket on this right lane yet.
If he makes his move here off that high shot and he goes light, it's over.
Yeah, I agree.
In the tournament, stats provided by Lane Talk. Strike on strike, Kretzer is 68%. See what he can do here on the strike. Ugh, 7-10.
Just no chance at all. It just seems like every time he makes the move to the right, it overhooks, and when he moves in, it never gets there.
And it looks like he really tried to give this one the stuff at the bottom of the swing, and this ball just hydroplanes all the way down the lane. And, oh, let's not forget the nice break leaving the pocket 7-10.
open frame, and Simonelli's path to the championship match just got a little easier.
So when you're Ryan Ciminelli in this situation, Jason, what's going through your mind?
Just keep repeating shots. Watch that ball go through the pins to make sure that it's continuing to go through the pins the right way. Don't look forward to the title match just yet.
Kretzer can still shoot 215. He strikes in the 8th frame.
I really like his new attitude, I guess you could say, towards his bowling on TV. You notice he hasn't gotten too aggressive.
Right.
Really kept patient. And I think it's going to be an improved Ryan Simonelli.
We saw that last week. Drills it.
Strike.
You ever seen him post up that many shots?
I tell you what, he's worked really hard, and the hard work is paying off for him right now.
Ryan's fiance Chelsea Larson and dad Angelo.
Well, we've mentioned that Ryan has only one PBA title to his credit. That happening back nearly 3 years ago at the 2011 Earl Anthony Memorial Classic in Dublin, California. Simonelli's 3rd appearance on television. Fittingly enough, that year's Earl Anthony Classic featured an all-lefty final. #1 seed Simonelli going up against veteran Patrick Allen. But it was Simonelli who had put together 2 3-baggers, holding off a late charge from Allen to win 237 to 215.
My turn, baby. It's finally my turn.
Interesting to note, Allen, who just missed making today's televised finals, was also the runner-up to Brian Kretzer in his only PBA title win, the 2010 Go RVing Match Play Championship.
That's all she wrote.
We'll let Ryan tell you about it.
Now, if you're Dom Barrett watching this match and you caught a piece of the first match, you got to be thinking, I hope I can find something.
I think it'd be more like, Mr. Barrett, did you bring your striking shoes today?
Now, the only positive for Dom Barrett is he gets choice of starting lane. Doesn't look like he wants to finish on the right lane based on what I've seen.
Right, and Dom does play the lanes quite a bit different than the first 2 right-handers on the telecast. So I would think that Dom probably realizes that the end's not looking too good right now, that he might want to throw some shots outside.
Mathematically over.
Ryan Ciminelli advances to the championship match. Will take on Dom Barrett for the title. And a good run at this event for Brian Kretzer. And a 3rd place finish. So Jason Couch, when you have a 10th frame to work with, match in hand, how do you go about setting yourself up for the next match?
I would take this 10th frame, and if I was Ryan, and I would certainly try maybe a different ball, maybe something that's a little stronger, because if the oil's going to push down, he's going to want something to start a little earlier. You always have to stay ahead of your moves out here. That's the guys that hold the trophies on the weekends.
Just one and on.
Hall of Famer Jason Couch, we appreciate you stopping by.
As always, gentlemen, a pleasure.
I'm sorry, did you just call me a gentleman?
I did, sir.
Oh, God. Wait till I see you back home in Claremont, Florida.
I'm just warming you up.
I am so going to egg your house.
Ryan Ciminelli advances to the championship match. 235-179 final score. Coming up next, the PBA League Challenge will face the obstacle course. And after that, Ryan Ciminelli takes on Dom Barrett for the title here at the PBA Chameleon Championship. The PBA Chameleon Championship is brought to you by Barbasol, Close Shave America, Close Shave Barbasol, by Motive Bowling, high performance equipment with a fresh perspective. Get motivated. By Brunswick, find your next ball at bowlwithbrunswick.com. And by DV8, we are DV8. Tonight we bowl. Welcome back to Las Vegas and South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa. Mike Jakubowski, Randy Peterson, and Kimberly Pressler with you. Time now for our PBA League Challenge. The challenge is a four-part event where the winner will pick a charity to receive the proceeds from an auction of signed PBA memorabilia. Week 1 was Bowling Blind, won by Pete Weber. Last week, Bill O'Neill came out on top in Time to Strike. And today the pros are going to take on the obstacle course. Each player will get 3 shots. Both an inside and an outside shot will make up the first 2 efforts. Then based on those throws, the other competitors will vote to determine from where the 3rd shot will be thrown. Back to help us and demonstrate this event, Terrell Owens.
Well, he's used to dodging obstacles on the football field, so he should have a pretty good run with this.
And the obstacles aren't coming at your head at full speed. Here's T.O. to show us how it's done, navigating the obstacle course.
How about that? That's pretty good for the first attempt by T.O.
T.O. chooses the inside path first. Each player must bowl the inside angle and the outside angle, and then they'll have a choice for the 3rd shot.
Oh, jokes. Jokes.
Gets one more shot. I'm going to guess he's going to go back to the inside shot there, Mike J. Now, since he hit 2 of the pins standing on the lane, does he get 2 for that?
No, I don't think so. Obstacles do not count.
Okay,
you must
all right, just check it.
Knock down the real wood.
Oh.
Let's go. Here we go.
He'll go back. T.O. always good over the middle, isn't he?
He almost got the messenger into the 7 there. Oh!
So that would be a total score of 6. Terrell Owens shows us how it's done.
Don't try this at home, folks.
Here's our league challenge point standings. Pete Weber, Bill O'Neill on top with 17.5. Belmonte 16, and then a logjam at 4th. Barnes, Duke, Rash, Fagan, and Palermo round out after 2 events. So we begin the obstacle course, and Terrell Owens will draw our first contestant.
Belmo.
Belmonte, who's currently 3rd in the standings, was involved in some controversy last week in the time to strike portion of the PBA League Challenge. The bowlers had to throw as many strikes as they could in 90 seconds. As Belmo's time wound down, he led with 5 strikes. And then came this last-ditch effort for strike number 6. But the shot would not count.
Oh, come on. How does that not count? The machine wasn't even ready and I still got through it.
The replay showed that Belmo didn't get off the shot in time, but it was still an incredible effort and worth looking at one more time.
Okay.
Belmonte opens up for the LAX. He'll navigate the obstacle course, 3 shots at it. navigated the obstacles and a score of 10.
That's pretty good stuff there. Hey, 10's 10. Forget about whether he went Brooklyn or not. Doesn't matter.
You all thought I didn't mean to do that. That's exactly what I was planning.
Now, he went with the strong suit first. I don't know that I've ever seen Belmonte throw a shot up the outside portion of the lane.
He actually won the Chris Paul event one year, throwing that plastic ball straight up right around first arrow. He's pretty good at it.
No!
That's a 9er.
Not bad.
Let me guess where you want to play.
So the other players will huddle up, and based on what we just saw, it shouldn't take long for them to decide where Belmo will throw his third shot.
I didn't say that one. Yeah. Shocker.
So the players unanimously decide to move him back to the outside.
19 for Belmonte, trying to add on in this obstacle course challenge.
Closer.
26.
All right.
Not bad.
I'll take that.
That's a pretty fair effort off the top.
Hey, never hit any of the obstacles. Nobody was injured.
Now Terrell Owens will draw our second player. Palermo and the Pittsburgh Jackrabbits looking up at the rest of the PBA league in this challenge. Osku, see how he does on the obstacle course.
Boy, this is where you could really use a safety net.
Working the outside. And 9 count.
Interesting, he goes with that straighter shot from out to start. He knows what he's doing.
Each player must have one outside, one inside, and then everyone else will decide where he goes after this. Puts it through at 10, so 19. And he will take the lead in this obstacle course challenge.
He's trying to make up for last week's time to strike where he only threw 2. And gets a little high five from, or a mid 5. That wasn't really a high 5. That was kind of in the middle.
Makes 28 for Oscar Palermo and the Pittsburgh Jackrabbits.
Not bad.
Saying, here you go, fellas, beat that.
He is in first place. Bill O'Neill. Up next, the real deal.
Last week's winner in time to strike, going to double overtime, Bill O'Neill now will navigate the obstacle course. Franchise player for the Philadelphia Hitmen. 28, the number to beat. One inside shot, one outside shot. Players will determine the third shot. Goes in early, picks up 10.
It's a good look here at trying to avoid the rubber pins that are on the lane, and Bill O'Neill does it perfectly.
Eight for O'Neill, and if you need another reminder of the accuracy of the greatest bowlers in the world, Randy, no obstacles have been hit thus far.
That's a good point. No obstacles were hurt in the making of this obstacle course challenge.
O'Neill here, opportunity. He can strike to tie Palermo.
Yeah, let's see what the players have decided to make him do. I would go with moving him to the outside part of the lane. Looks like that's what they've chosen.
So you see the obstacles in front of O'Neill. He's got to fit Ball through. 9 count makes 27. Palermo still on top, 28. O'Neal second now with this effort. And as Bill O'Neal's song indicates, on to the next.
Petey! Let's go, Petey!
Well, the PBA League Challenge has so far been a mixed bag for Pete Weber. In the first week's bowling blind competition, Pete was perfect, throwing 4 strikes to easily win over fellow Hall of Famer Norm Duke.
Yeah!
But in last week's time to strike, Pete could only manage to clear the deck just twice in 90 seconds, a result that sent him down for the count.
I got to get some score.
The great Pete Weber representing the New York City WTT Kingpins. 1 inside, 1 outside, player's choice. 3 shots will determine the score. Navigates the obstacles.
Well, at least I got
7.
some score. Oh, you think? Let me grab this jig. Yeah, I still watch that pin on the second arrow go that way.
Pete's not sounding real confident in this challenge. Now he's got to go to a plastic spare ball and throw it up the outside part of the lane.
I'm not even sure, Norm, how you line up out here.
Pete asking for advice from Norm Duke. How to get to the nether regions of the lane.
Oh no! Catches the obstacle and still strikes. But does not count.
I am so glad I didn't hit that pin. I hit the pin down there. No, I hit the pin down there.
Oh, not by much.
Oh man, just catches a small piece of that little pin, spins it into the right gutter.
Guys just pick on the old guy. Wow.
And they're going to
I
make him.
kept it on the right-hand side, and I got screwed.
They're going to make him play out again.
$16 for Weber.
Oh, you guys. Oh, you guys.
Taking it in good humor. Hall of Famer Pete Weber. And when we return to the PBA League Challenge, our obstacle course, 4 more players. Your current leader is Palermo with 28, trying to take Pittsburgh out of the basement. Come on back to South Point. Obstacle course returns. Welcome back to South Point. PBA League Challenge continues with the obstacle course. Here's a look at the leaderboard. Oscar Palermo on top, 28. O'Neal, 27. Pete Weber experiencing controversy in last week's time to strike and this week's obstacle course. That did not count, and Kimberly Pressler is standing by with the Hall of Famer. Kimberly.
So, Pete, you had a strike. You ended up with a 0 because you hit the pin down there. How bummed about it are you?
It stayed on the lane. I feel that maybe it should have counted, but that's all right. I'm not going to worry about it too much. These guys that have to go next they're hurting.
Well, are you enjoying this PBA League Challenge?
It's been a blast so far. I mean, to watch the other guys do it, and then you got to get up and do it after them. It's actually pretty fun, and I think everybody's having a blast.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
4 more teams remaining in the PBA League Challenge. Palermo on top at 28. T.O.'s got the next pick.
Go, baby.
Time time for Norm Duke to tackle the obstacles.
Well, remember what happened last week. Duke looking for a little redemption.
Norm Duke couldn't even get one strike in 90 seconds. Time to strike was no strike for Norm Duke, franchise player for the Dallas Strikers. And now Duke, in his attempt at 3 shots at the obstacle course, players must have an inside and outside and a player's choice shot. Navigates the obstacles, 8 to open.
Best he can do now is a tie. If he can throw a couple of strikes, he's got a shot from out now, and the players will probably choose to have him throw his last shot right where he threw this one.
Is there anybody better at the outside part of the lane than this guy?
The dead hand outside shot, Norm's pretty much king. Walter Ray, give him a little run for his money out there, but Norm Duke has made a fortune over the years throwing this shot right here.
8 and 8, 16 for Duke. A strike would put him level with Belmonte for 3rd.
Just as I thought, the players moved Norm in.
They've called it. 5 into the 4-7, baby.
Mm. 25 final score for Norm Duke and the Dallas Strikers.
Ah! Those were all like I like them.
Pretty good shot here, but it just doesn't hit the 1-3 quite hard enough, leaving the flat 10. Norm disappointed.
Mike Fagan. Let's do it. Easy. Easy.
Motown Muscle franchise player Mike Fagan will now tackle the obstacles.
I think Mike Fagan's going to do pretty well. Just going out on a limb. Prediction, my friend.
The versatility of Mike Fagan about to be on the display. He's going to go inside early. And 9 with a quality hit.
Not bad.
Fagan equally adept at working the outside portion of the lane. We'll see that coming up.
Right around that 5th arrow, and you got to dodge the pin down lane at the break point. Now Mike Fagan's going to show us all the straight game he's been working on for the last 2 or 3 years. It's really made a huge difference in his game.
There's your leader, Oscar Palermo, representing Pittsburgh, trying to climb out of the cellar here in the PBA League Challenge. And 10 for Fagan. Strike. 19 and a chance to take the lead. That's a pretty good prediction, Randy.
And they're all going to move him in because they saw the flat 10 and they know how good he is throwing it straight from out. So the other players have said, Mike, you better move in and show us that you can still throw the big curve and strike.
10 to take the lead. 9 would set up a potential sudden death roll-off with Palermo. Following today's PBA League Challenge, the PBA Chameleon title match between Ryan Ciminelli and Dom Barrett. So stay tuned for that. So here's Fagan moving to the inside. Chance to take the lead. And obstacle. 19.
What happened?
I think Osku described just what happened. And we'll look at it again.
He tried to give it a little extra hand at the bottom and got it left to target. And that was all she wrote.
Will it be Rash or will it be Barnes?
Barnesy, let's do it.
Here comes Chris Barnes, franchise player for Chris Hardwick's Silver Lake Atom Splitters.
I'm pretty good loft in it. That's probably just like. Yeah.
Barnes now to navigate the obstacle course. Takes the outside shot first. Drills it, 10 for Barnes.
Great shot.
Looked on purpose.
Players telling Chris, you better enjoy that one. You're not going to see it again.
Yeah, that was a great comment by Rash, because
You don't think they're going to vote on that one for me?
when the players decide on his last shot, it's not going to be from that part of the lane.
All right.
One of the most versatile players in the history of the PBA Tour on the inside approach. And a 9 count. And likely he'll see that opportunity again.
See, I was paying attention to how you do this.
Avoids the obstacles, goes high, only leaving the 10 pin. He has a chance now
Are you sure?
to take the lead.
Yeah,
You want to vote?
Good comment from Barnes. Is there an advantage of the players later in the draw to kind of see what happens during the first several shots?
Oh,
or would
yeah.
you rather post the score?
No, absolutely. There's a bit of an advantage watching all the balls go down the lane.
Over, yeah. I get a lot of pins, but they'd all be they'll be those rubber ones. All right.
Barnes, the king of self-deprecation. 19. 10 to take the lead. And 8 makes 27, tied with O'Neill, and Palermo still leads.
That left lane starting to hook, Mike J, and it's not like you can make an adjustment and move in even deeper. You saw what happened to Fagan when he tried doing that.
Sasan Rash will bat 8th here, the reigning player of the year.
22.5, that's a lot more than I'm thinking.
Franchise player for Jesse Williams, Brooklyn Styles. 3 shots through the obstacles, outside first. 8.
I'll just stay out there. Pete, how many did you get? Okay, I gotta beat that so I can get 2 points.
Well, this is not Sean Rash's strong suit of no-handing it from the outside part of the lane. I promise you, that's where you're going to see his 3rd shot.
Needs 2 strikes to force a roll-off with Palermo.
Oh, God.
That's 1.
Yeah, and I've learned over the years that anytime you hear a player say, oh, God, after they let go of it, it's usually going to strike. Pretty good here. Now, if Sean Rash can somehow figure out a way to throw a strike from the outside part of the lane,
I'm looking at 2.
he will tie Osku.
I know it's not what I hit.
And that would force a roll-off with the twin fin. Otherwise,
I can't say it.
Osku takes top points in this PBA League Challenge.
No.
And he got it! 28 for Rash. We're going to have a roll-off. Oh!
He just gave it the heater, Ricky.
So we will have a roll-off, Rash and Palermo.
Take that!
We have a tie. Let ball set that roll off on the left lane. Each player can pick their own line.
The roll-off will happen on the obstacle course. And Osku will begin the roll-off. 28 apiece. It goes to overtime here, this PBA League Challenge. And we're down to one shot. First order of business is to avoid the obstacles. Here's Palermo. 6.
Oh my. That ball actually rolled out and went dead straight after he came off the end of the pattern. Sean Rash
Just you and me? Oh, okay.
has a great opportunity right now of winning this challenge. You'd think that he's going to play in and should have no trouble getting more than 6 as long as he doesn't hit any of the obstacles.
I heard him say he's staying right.
Interesting choice.
Picks it up. Goes with the B game. Nails it, and Sean Rash picks up first place points for his Brooklyn Styles in this PBA League Challenge. So with today's victory, Sean Rash and the Brooklyn Styles go to the top of the standings with 27 points. Only one competition left in the PBA League Challenge, a surprise event named for Terrell Owens. It's the TO Challenge next week. But coming up, can Ryan Ciminelli rebound from last week's shocking loss and take home the PBA Chameleon title? Not if #1 seed Dom Barrett has anything to say about it. The Chameleon Final is next here at the World Series of Bowling. Stay with us. Welcome back to South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa. PBA Chameleon Championship match is coming up next, but first it's the Geico Championship recap with Randy.
Ryan Ciminelli in match #1 taking on Tom Smallwood, and it was all the Von Ryan Express. Starts with the front 3, then catches a 5-bagger, shoots 255 to Tom Smallwood's 197. Then in match #2, it's all Simonelli once again. A 4-bagger, 3 through 6, and a double late. And that was all she wrote. He takes down Brian Kretzer, 235, 179.
Simonelli ascends the ladder, and waiting at the top is Dom Barrett from England. There's the Dominator. Puts the paw on it from the right side. 231.8 average for his 14 qualifying games.
Check out what he did at the Scorpion Open. Playing that deep inside line, using the great-handed power. You want to talk about a guy that can roll it? Well, you're looking at him. I think that out of all the right-handers that we've seen on the telecast today, if anybody can get to the pocket consistently, it's going to be Dom Barrett. He's got a lot of hand, a lot of revs, speed, and heavy roll.
Who will take home the Chameleon Championship? The Englishman, the Dominator, Dom Barrett, or the Southpaw American, the Ryan Express, Ryan Ciminelli? Both are in search of their second PBA Tour title. The final match is next, here at the World Series of Bowling from South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa in Las Vegas. PBA World Series of Bowling 5 rolls on at South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa. The PBA Chameleon Championship has reached its final match, and we will have a winner and a champion coming up next. Kimberly Pressler is standing by with our tournament leader.
Well, Dom, Ryan Simonelli is averaging about 245 right now, and the other two right-handers, they didn't even hit 200. What are you going to do to stop Ryan Simonelli and break the 200 mark?
You know, you're thinking way too far ahead for me right now. I've got to throw 10 good shots, one at a time. You know, the cliches are there for a reason, I guess, and that's what I'm probably going to use in this conversation. So just, you know, one shot at a time, throw good shots, and if I can do that and bowl well, it will take care of itself.
Good luck to you.
This Chameleon Championship already has quite a history. In the 5 short years it's been a part of the World Series of Bowling. The 2010-11 winner, Scott Norton, his first title win on the PBA Tour. And the following year it was Jason Belmonte, one of 3 titles he took home at that World Series. And unbelievably, those two would meet in last year's final. In the 10th frame, Norton needed to strike on his final shot of the match to complete a 4-bagger, which in turn would force Belmonte to strike on his first ball of the 10th. Belmo had to strike or the title was Norton's. Belmo leaves the 10-pin, and Scott Norton gets the second of his 3 career PBA titles, a 2-time Chameleon champion. A second PBA Tour title is what Ryan Ciminelli is seeking here. Only Englishman Dom Barrett stands in his way after defeating Tom Smallwood and Brian Kretzer. And now, the opening shot in our title match.
Yeah, the first couple of shots for Dom Barrett coming up are going to be telling.
You know, the cliches rolled on with me, too. I talked to Dom, and he gave me the old Gene Hackman from Hoosiers. I asked him about the difference between bowling in the arena versus South Point Bowling Center, and he said 60 feet, 10 pins at the end.
All right, get off that.
Opening shot from the tournament leader. Right-handers have failed to crack 200. A lot of opportunity for that 10 to fall, but stand it does.
Well, a little straighter than I thought he would go and attack this oil pattern. Lots of pressure, as Jason Couch alluded to, knowing the kind of look that Ryan Simonelli has. It puts more pressure on the right-handers and his opponents to throw strikes. Take a look at Dom Barrett's arsenal. Going with the crossroad. A little less responsive ball than some of the others he has in his arsenal. Matches his shirt, though.
Barrett is the 3-time World Bowling Writers Bowler of the Year in 8, 9, and 10. He's the only male ever to win in 3 consecutive years. Tackling the left lane, light, 2-pin.
Well, if you're Ryan Simonelli, you have to probably sit on your hands to keep from waving at everybody. He's so excited based on the first 2 shots that went down the lane for Dom Barrett. I mean, if you're Ryan, that's exactly what you wanted to see.
Gives it a second look, but fills the frame nonetheless. Can Simonelli stay on the warm path? Title match here at the PBA Chameleon Championship. Simonelli trying to run the ladder. And they all fall down. Double for Simonelli.
Man on a mission. Great rebound from last week's disaster when he left the pocket 7-10 in the 10th frame. And that light swishing hit. Right now, Ryan Ciminelli has one thing and one goal in mind. That's winning his second title.
Confident stroke. 10 back. Opening turkey for Simonelli.
That was fast and furious. Dom Barrett has 2 shots under his belt. One was a weak 10, the other was light. He needs to start striking now.
Barrett finds the pocket. He's got a strike in the third. And a chance to double on that here in the 4th frame. Visit PBA.com for information and more. PBA Bowling Challenge will now be available for your mobile device. Bowl against PBA pros in unique venues, multiple bowling ball, and oil pattern options. And click on the mobile game link at PBA.com.
Mike J., I noticed you had that on your phone.
I do. Helps when you take those cross-country trips. Soon available for the Apple operating system. Double. Sweet shot for Barrett. And the lead is down to 11 pins. So that lets Simonelli know Barrett's not walking away here. Although ball in hand for Simonelli. All strikes working in the 4th frame. Oh no, almost turned into, oh yes. Bucket crumbles, just leaving the 3-pin.
Oh no, almost turned into, oh my. Nice break there, only leaving the 3-pin.
Well, we've told you that Ryan Simonelli only has 1 PBA Tour title, but in reality, he could easily have several more. Simonelli finished second twice in 2009, again in 2012 at the Tournament of Champions, and then, of course, last week's heartbreaker against Chris Barnes. Ryan is determined not to let today's opportunity slip away like the others have.
I thought about the 1 title thing quite a bit over the past week, and you don't want to have one and people think, oh, he's just a one-hit wonder. It doesn't matter how many shows you make if you can't win again. And I've made enough shows, and I've already bowled for the title 4 or 5 times, I'm not even sure. But still only got 1 title. So it would mean quite a bit to me to get that second one and just be known as a multi-title player.
Well, that's a nice shot by Ryan Ciminelli, but right now Dom Barrett steps up on the right lane and can do something that no other right-hander has done all day long, and that's throw a strike, pull the match even, and put pressure on Ryan Ciminelli.
Barrett steps up in the 5th. He can match Simonelli's turkey from the front. 5th frame. 3rd arrow. Light hit, and he mixes out the 7. We've got an even match halfway home.
Dom Barrett doesn't show a lot of emotion, but this is something to get pretty excited about right here.
So turkey for Barrett and a chance to take a lead against Simonelli here in the title match of the PBA Chameleon Championship.
If he strikes right here, you know what you call that? It's not a ham bone.
No, it'd be a lead change.
And a 4-bagger.
as a baby split is the result.
Take a look at Dom Barrett's form. I want you to watch what he does with his wrist and elbow on the way down. Watch this. See that wrist and elbow snap that bowling ball off his hand. That's how he creates all that revolution and power. It's like throwing a yo-yo.
Perfect cover of the baby split for Barrett. The pinfall hands the lead to Simonelli on the bench, with a small lead at that. But now Simonelli steps up with the multiplying effect of the strike. And he can add to his lead here in the 6th and 7th. Six pin.
The last two shots for me looked a little faster and a little more aggressive from Ryan Ciminelli. The one on the left lane looked a little left, and it held line and went flush pocket. That looked right inside of target, and it goes 6 pin. The speed looks like it's increasing, and the line looks like it's getting much straighter. I don't know if that's intentional or if that's nerve driven.
4 frames remaining in our title match. 2 sticks separate Simonelli from Barrett. Barrett will clean up in the 7th. The first to operate is Ryan Ciminelli. Come on! Yeah! That was a 7. Coast to coast.
Ryan Ciminelli creates power the same way Dom Barrett does. Snapping the wrist and elbow at the bottom. And watch this great pin action. Call that the bird dog or the messenger. But that was a much better shot than the last 2 previous shots he threw. Dom Barrett can strike here. He will still only trail by 2 pins.
The messenger does not get the 10 for Barrett.
Boy, that was one he really needed, and the soft messenger comes over and nudges a 10 not to be. With a spare, he'll be trailing by 3, but Ryan Ciminelli is working on a strike in the 7th. Simonelli can strike out for 259.
The World Series of Bowling 5 continues next week on ESPN Sunday with the PBA Chameleon Championship. Marshall Kent, the amateur player granted a commissioner's exemption, will bowl for the title. Who will face him? Smallwood, Josh Blanchard, Tommy Jones? Find out next Sunday. Eighth frame for Barrett. Get the feeling he's got to have one here. Right hit. Nope. Can't shake out the 2.
It's going to take a small miracle for Dom Barrett to strike out and have any chance. Ryan Ciminelli line to the pocket. Very, very good. Players didn't break him down the right way in practice. Maybe they played too far right to start. Maybe they played too far left to start. For whatever reason, they didn't play in the same zone long enough to break down a definite dry spot on the right side of the lane.
Simonelli up 4 pins, 8th frame, can extend his lead.
Yes! That puts him in the high 220s now. Dom Barrett's max score, 235. One more strike here in the 9th frame and it's all but over. What a comeback, Mike J, from last week's disastrous 10th frame. that cost Ryan Simonelli a title.
Trying to avoid a similar fate here. Needs to finish strong to close out Barrett. Mixes the strike, got Delight in play, drops the rack.
Well, drops the rack, maybe. Looked like more like he shredded the rack. I mean, he was throwing pins everywhere and in a big hurry. Watch how fast these pins explode. And the explosive reaction.
And now Barrett in the 9th, down 24. Barrett's not done. Pile up the pins and make Simonelli perform.
Yeah, it's a good point. He has to strike out and give something for Ryan Simonelli to think about. Take your time here in the 10th frame. Take a re-rack if needed. Throw 3 more strikes and force Ryan Simonelli to mark with good count. Gotta have it. Game over.
It's high, and Ryan Simonelli, you're a repeat champion on the PBA Tour.
Great comeback. Great comeback for that kid, his father, his family.
Just a couple pins here will seal the deal. And a rare opportunity to enjoy a PBA Tour victory.
Just a great story for a great kid and player that's worked very hard to get back to the winner's circle, and very well deserved for Ryan Simonelli and his family.
For the 2nd time in his career,
Title number 2.
you hoist the winning trophy. Congratulations, Ryan Simonelli.
Proud of you, buddy. Proud of you. Had a baby son.
Great moment here at World Series of Bowling 5. And here's the winning shot that put him over the top. Simonelli, PBA Chameleon Championship winner, 2nd time he's hoisted the trophy. We'll talk to him when we return to South Point. The PBA Chameleon Championship is brought to you by Geico. saving people money on more than just car insurance. By Radical Bowling Technologies. Wow, that's radical. By Columbia 300. Grab some friends, have some fun, let's bowl. And by the USBC, the national governing body servicing the needs of bowling. To learn more, visit us on bowl.com. For the second time in his career, Ryan Ciminelli picks up the hardware and is quick to share it with a hug with Dad Angelo, a man who's played a major role in his son's success. Let's go to Randy with today's runner-up.
Thanks, MJ. Dom Barrett, I know it's tough anytime you're the tournament leader and you don't come away with the trophy. See if you could put into words how you're feeling right now.
You know, it's tough, as you say. There's not much you can really do as long as you try and bowl a good game. You know, some go your way, some don't. But, you know, Ryan, all credit to him, bowled a great game, bowled great every game to get through all the three right-handers, and you know, today wasn't my day.
What happened to the right side of the lane?
I'm not sure, you know. It's been sitting out here for quite a long time. There's a lot of lights. You get bowled on TV enough to know that makes a big effect. But I was watching the other guys and where they played. We all tried to play right in practice because we knew we had to, you know, try and get rid of the lefty. If he kept winning, it'd be dangerous, and as it proved, that's exactly what happened. But who knows what happened to the middle part of the lane? We didn't throw really any shots there. Kretzer threw 5 in each lane in his game. Shouldn't have affected it that much. It was far enough left that it was away from where we practiced, and I got into the middle part of the lane, exactly where I wanted to play. I mean, if you'd have asked me where I wanted to play, that would have been it. But you know, the left lane gave me more trouble than I thought it would have done when we were practicing, and the right lane, I knew it was going to be a little bit tricky, being a little bit tighter. But I didn't expect the left lane to go 2-pin and then through the face a couple of times. That kind of caught me out. And you know, you live and learn, and we'll be back next time trying to improve this.
Yeah, you'll be back soon for the World Championship. What can you take from this tournament to the World Championship?
A lot, you know. I'm in a similar position in that. I'm top seed coming in, so it's almost the same as this. There isn't a lefty and there's an extra game, but this shows me a lot what I can expect, and I'm really looking forward to that final.
Dom, thanks very much for your time. You're a class act.
Thank you very much.
Last week, Ryan Simonelli, 7-10 split to deny victory at the Viper, but then today, from the agony of defeat to the thrill of victory, Kimberly Pressler is standing by with our champion.
Ryan, there was a lot of emotion in this win for you today, and it was a long, hard road for you. Why don't you walk me through that?
Well, I knew after practice that this pattern had played a little bit better for me than Viper did, and I knew if I could stay in the moment that good things could happen. And I took a lot out of that loss last week, and I just applied that loss, and you learn a lot from that, and just moved forward with it and stayed positive, and great things happened.
Well, when you did win, you yelled redemption. Why?
Well, that 10th frame shot against Barnes was mediocre at best, and I just beat myself up over it and got back in the ring and knew that if I was going to be put in that position again, that I was going to make a good shot.
Well, congratulations to Western New York's own Ryan Ciminelli. You are the new PBA Chameleon Champion.
A 2-time winner on the PBA Tour. Join us for our next telecast. Coming up next Sunday at 3:30 Eastern, it's the PBA Scorpion Championship as World Series of Bowling 5 rolls on here at South Point in Las Vegas. Ryan Simonelli strikes his way back into the PBA winner's circle. An exciting victory and redemption for Ryan and his family. For Randy Peterson and Kimberly Pressler, this is Mike Jakubowski. We'll see you next week for the PBA Scorpion Championship.